how excited are you about the future of Marvel and where you all are headed as a studio?
I was so excited to make Agent Carter the first Avenger.
He played this iconic, epic hero in Black Panther, and he played other iconic heroes. But I don't think any of the roles that he played surpassed the heroism of his life.
You know, his voice pops up a couple other times, you know, in the season, so be sure to watch for it. And some of those we recorded once the pandemic was going on. It was before he passed, but it was getting kind of close to that time. But we didn't know.
Yeah. Brad, nice to meet you. Though virtual, great talking with you today.
Same, Dave. Good to meet you too.
I've actually been to the Marvel offices on the lot in Burbank. Dude, so cool. I have a friend that works in the Hollywood Records, and he's like, "Hey, you want to go look at the Marvel office?" I'm like,
cool. Okay.
Yeah. So I saw the costumes, and yeah, I don't want to give anything away though, so nobody goes, "What? What are they talking about?"
No,
hey
it's so
man,
cool.
This is genius. I love the concept of this. I had to remind myself that it's kind of, and no spoilers here, but it's a different thing than what we're used to. So my first question to you, Brad, is what excites you most about What If?
The same thing that excites me about working on any project at Marvel Studios, which is like just the opportunity to tell more stories. and What If is kind of it's an infinite canvas to do that. You know, if you can dream it, you know, you can do it. Partially because it's animated, but partially because it's playing in the multiverse. So you don't have to follow the instructions that come with the Lego set. You can build your own thing. And that's the thing that excites me most about it.
This is genius. All right. I've only seen a couple of episodes and I'm just geeking out. I can't wait to see more. AC, I'll start with you. The first question I have is, tell me about the pitch for this. I mean, this is so creative. Tell me what it involved and what was said.
It was actually at first them pitching me. Brad Winderbaum brought me into the office. I'd already met some of the other producers on other projects. And when they bring you into a Marvel project, they don't tell you what you're meeting on until you're literally in the room. And we want to do an animated series. And at that point, I had done 80 odd episodes of animation and was honestly not looking to do much more. I was like, I want to get into longer form storytelling. I want to move more into live action. And he went, "You're going to be writing 10 mini Marvel movies." I went, "Okay, buddy, you sold me. This sounds amazing." So then I met with Kevin, and the original pitch for the pilot was very different. They asked me to pitch what if Steve fell off the train instead of Bucky. When I got the job, they went, "We're actually not doing that. We want to do Peggy Carter." They were just keeping it on the QT. Welcome to Marvel. Everything's a secret. And I was thrilled. I was so excited to make Agent Carter the first Avenger. And so my challenge as a writer was to find out, how does that happen? And I love iconic characters. I love creating them. I love deconstructing them. So with Peggy, it was going into who she is as a woman. Like, why do we like her? And she's a woman who knows her worth. And there's this moment in the first Avenger where she's asked to basically wait in the booth. I was like, well, that's it. There's the moment. That's her saying, "No, I stay in the room," because this is actually about feminism. This is about a woman's place. Her place is in the room. Her place is holding the shield. It's going to battle. And I was very happy to learn that Marvel was all for it. They let me push those boundaries. They let me get some really great lines in there. And because at the end of the day, it's also, for Peggy, it's not so much about her becoming a hero. It's letting her hero shine through that we always knew was there.
Jeffrey Wright, good to see you again, my friend.
How are you, Dave?
I'm great. Did I get to talk with you? Your reaction when you found out that you were a part of this series voicing the Watcher.
Oh, I was excited. I was excited to be invited into this huge, crazy, dynamic Marvel party. And I first, though, had to ask my son if he knew anything about this character. He's 19 now, so he's pretty much grown up with Marvel, and he's the watcher in my house. He's my watcher. I'm the watcher. So I had to ask him, and he, his mind was blown. He was so excited about it. So that that made it even more interesting to me, because I can't help but watch these films now through his eyes. So yeah, they said, "Hey, would you want to be a part of this?" I said, "Yeah, I'll be a part of that." Yeah. So here we are.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
Is there any particular person or element or thing, maybe it was your son, that inspired this role? Because the way you voice, it's very dramatic, okay, which I love, has to be. It's Marvel, like you just said a second ago. So
Yeah.
was there an inspiration, or did you say, this is where I should go with this?
Well, I mean, he is described as the most dramatic being in all of the universe when we first see him in 1963 in the Fantastic Four comic. So that kicked it off for me. That gave me a little bit of insight that, you couldn't really be, too extra. The only reference that I had in my head was Rod Serling, was the Twilight Zone, because he is the Rod Serling to What If. So there was that. And beyond that, I just tried to find my own music and my own rhythms in my voice and bring that to bear for this watcher. So
What a great answer, Rod
thank you.
Serling.
Hey,
Dude, Rod Serling. Man, that's it. That's it. Fans are hardcore, including myself. We love these things. We dissect them. We look close at this. Of course, this kind of puts a spin on your head. But is there pressure as a director to get it just right, knowing how hardcore the fans are?
Yeah, I mean, you want to honor this where it comes from, and luckily we had like this bevy of Marvel movies to lean on. They've done all this work, so there's a certain amount of it's not like it's a training wheel, but it's like a tiny little support bar we can reach out and grab. But the thing with the multiverse, we're free to a certain degree, because now it's infinite. The possibilities are infinite. So that does allow a certain amount of looseness that you wouldn't necessarily suspect, because things can be different, both infinitesimally small or major. And it's just like, hey man, what if? Hey, but the thing and the continuity, what? It's like, man, what if this one just didn't play out that way? It's fine. It's not a big deal. And it gets to focus on the stuff that's truly important, which is what the characters are going through, what they're thinking, feeling, emoting, and not whether or not this person had that glove on in this thing or whatever, like that costume's wrong. Well, yeah, what if? In this one, the costume designer just chose black instead of brown. It's not a big deal. Don't let it ruin your world. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Move on. So yeah, there was a little bit of it, but not as much as you might think.
I know that you are a comics fan, and I also know that your first project with Marvel was Iron Man. Not a bad film, not a bad thing to start off with. And you exec produced on Thor Ragnarok, another excellent movie, I might add. Do you pinch yourself daily? Because again, I want to go back to the fact when I read in your bio that you're a comics fan. This has got to be like the dream job for you.
I don't know how it happened. I mean, basically, like I on Iron Man 1, I was essentially like, getting coffees and making photocopies. But what I did have was a desk that was right outside of the writer's room. And it would get super hot in that writer's room, so they would keep the door open. So I got to hear like every conversation that John and Kevin and the writers were having for, a year of my life. And that was in terms of filmmaking, that was the biggest education I ever got.
When I read about researching and getting ready to watch a couple of the episodes of What If, I can't believe this is, I think I'm right when I say this is the first animated project under this production umbrella. Am I correct when I say that?
Yeah, this is the first animated project that is produced by Marvel Studios, under Kevin Feige as part of that world. And
so what took so long?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, it was the only reason What If is animated is because it needed to it's a story that needed to be told in that medium. If there had been another story that we wanted to produce that had to be done in animation, we would have done it. But because of how many places and characters and costumes and we want to revisit, and because we don't want to be bound by anything, we want to explore the infinity of the multiverse, the medium of animation just made the most sense.
Chadwick Boseman, who I had the opportunity to interview several times over, for his projects. He's a part of this. How cool is it for you to hear him in one of his last roles voicing, and being a part of What If?
Yeah, it's he and I never had a chance to work together. In fact, I was asked to be in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom with him. I couldn't do it because I was working on another project, but George Wolfe, who directed that, is a long-time collaborator, friend, mentor to me. So I didn't have that opportunity. So to cross paths in some way with Chadwick on this was really, it's bittersweet, but I'm really appreciative that we were able to do something together. I met him at Comic-Con when he was there to promote Black Panther, and I was there to promote, I guess it was the first season or second season maybe of Westworld. And we talked and he said some really meaningful things about, what he thought of my work and how it had impacted or influenced him as a young actor. And yeah, he was just, I've said it before, he played this iconic, epic hero in Black Panther, and he played other iconic heroes. But I don't think any of the roles that he played surpassed the heroism of his life. And also the power of his presence through dignity and grace and humility. It's just extraordinary. And so, yeah, I'm really pleased, just to collaborate with him on this one final piece. Pretty cool. I wish we had opportunity to do more.
It is amazing, Bryan, to hear Chadwick Boseman, to hear his voice again. When did he record these? Do you know?
I can't remember the exact date, but it was a while ago. I mean, he was obviously going through what he was going through, and his voice pops up a couple other times, in the season. So be sure to watch for it. And some of those we recorded once the pandemic was going on. It was before he passed, but it was getting kind of close to that time. But we didn't know.
Yeah.
But we were lucky to have him. He was one of the first ones to say that he was in, and he brought everything to it because T'Challa is so important, Black Panther is so important, and that character is important to us, and also working with Chadwick was important to us. So we just respect him and love him so much. So it was great that he's able to be a part of this thing, and personally and selfishly for us all, we were so happy that he was excited about it. You know what I mean? That he got it, and he wanted to be a part of it, and he wanted to bring this other version of T'Challa to life. We're just so thankful,
All right, Brad, I know you can't give away a lot of things. I talk with so many actors that play Marvel characters, and our big joke is we don't say anything because we don't want the Marvel police knocking on our door. And you should see how many actors, just David Harbour the other day, he's just going like this, Yep, I know about that. He's the one I just recently talked with.
Yeah.
But so that prefacing my question, how excited are you about the future of Marvel and where you all are headed as a studio?
I mean, it's unbelievable. As a comic fan, it's you. I do have to pinch myself. It's like, it's incredible what's around the corner. But I will say, the key to the whole enterprise, the whole studio so far, the last 10 years, is that each project really needs to exist on its own terms. Each story needs a low barrier of entry, actually. Like, it needs You need to be able to kind of walk in blindly, knowing nothing about the other movies, and really feel true empathy for these characters on screen, and see a story unfold in its own right. So while there are so many fun interconnections in the grand universe storytelling of the MCU, what really excites me are these bespoke, like, individual stories that are right around the corner that are just going to, I think, hopefully be really fulfilling and entertaining to watch.
Dude, I can't wait. Again, thanks for everything you bring to us. I got to meet Stanley a couple of years ago. I did a panel I hosted, sat right next to him. So I know the excitement that you all have to bring, those stories to life. Brad, thanks again for your time, my man. Congrats. What if rocks, and I can't wait to see the rest of what is coming in this series.
Thanks, Dave. Good to meet you.
All right, brother. Take care, man. Bye.